Hi viewers, welcome to my channel Vidya Peetam, Joy of Learning. I am Nageshwari, Assistant Professor. I am going to discuss origin and development of human rights. So in this video, I am going to cover what is the main origin and as well as the development stages in human rights. Before going to see the origin and development, first of all, we should know where do these human rights come from. Yes, so initially this human rights came from the International Bill of Human Rights. Then UDHR came, that is Universal Declaration of Rights, and 10th December 1948 it was declared, and 30 articles were universally declared on 10th December 1948. So in that UDHR, the two important points they have declared, that is two important covenant they have passed, that is International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, then International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. So this is how the human rights come from. We are going to see about some important definitions or process of human rights. Yes, the first one is nothing but declaration. So this is the first a process, or we can say definition of human rights. Declaration. So now, what is declaration? So declaration is nothing but document stating standards or set of principles, but it is not legally binding. So that is called as declaration. The second the second definition is treaty, convention, charter and covenant. Treaty, yes. Treaty, convention, charter and covenant. That is, it is a legally binding agreement between two or more countries. So that is called as, we can say it as treaty, or we can say it as convention, we can say it as charter and covenant. Now the third one is ratification. Now what is ratification? So formal process by which a country agrees to be bound by the terms of a treaty. That is called as ratification. Now the last one is reservation. So what is reservation? The exception that states made to a treaty. That is example, provisions within the treaty the government does not accept. So these are the different definitions or process of human rights. Yeah. Next one is, so the continuation of the previous slide, that is how rights become law. Here it is. That is the first stage, that is UN writes a draft of the treaty, the first one, and the second one is parties negotiate terms of treaty, the second one, and the third one is it was open to ratification, and finally the countries enter and make reservations. So this is how the rights become law. Now, we are going to see about the origin and development. So, what is the introduction? That is, here is a beautiful picture. So, this picture is nothing but one play, Greek play Antigone. So, what is the meaning of this Greek play Antigone? So, where it origins? So, why it origins? That is, the history of human rights, in fact, is traced back to ancient times itself and has gained impetus only in recent times. It has formally become recognized only after the formation of the United Nations in 1945, which has as its central concern reaffirmed its faith in the fundamental human rights, in the dignity and worth of human person at all levels and under all circumstances. The term human rights virtually denote all those rights inherent in our nature and without one ceases to be a human being. The origin of human is traced by some scholars back to the times of ancient Greeks. The fact that human rights were recognized as natural rights of man is illustrated by a Greek play Antigone. So, this is called as a Greek play Antigone. So, in this Greek play Antigone, so some scholars, they have played the fact the human rights were recognized as natural rights of man, and it is clearly illustrated in this play called as Antigone. The continuation of this origin and development, the roots for after that play, after that, the next point is, the next origin is about the roots for the protection of the rights. So we need to protect our rights. It is our right, it is our duty of an individual. So this may be traced as far back as in Babylonian laws, Assyrian laws, Hittite laws, and in all major religions of the world. So, in philosophy, the development of the notion of the natural rights of man was contributed by the Stoic philosophers. They first developed natural law theory. So, the philosophers, they first developed natural law theory, and by virtue of it, they explained the nature of human rights. They explained the nature of human rights. That is, rights which every human being possesses by virtue of being human. So that was developed by the philosophers. So they first developed this natural law theory as, so each and every human being has rights by virtue of being a human. So these are a pictorial representation of this Babylonian laws. So this one is nothing but the Babylonian laws picture, and this one is nothing but the Assyrian picture, and this is nothing but the Hittite laws. So they were scripted in this different stones and in this picture. Then the continuation of the origin. So after that, so the main important charter or origin we can say is a Magna Carta. So the first English charter was known as Magna Carta, and this charter was written by the King John in AD 13th century. So generally, it is said that the struggle for human rights started in the Western world sometimes in the beginning of 13th century itself, when the great English charter known as Magna Carta was issued. But the fact is that this struggle had started even 200 years prior to the issue of this charter, determining the rights of the parliament in 1037 CE itself. See, this is the picture of the King John who is signing this Magna Carta. So the second picture shows the charter of by King John, that is Magna Carta of King John, and the time is AD 1215. Yeah, the continuation of this, the Magna Carta story, though the established fact is that the concept of human rights existed before the Magna Carta, that is Bill of Rights, came into existence. However, Magna Carta enjoys the status of a milestone in the history of human rights. So this Magna Carta is the first English charter in human rights. Later on, Henry I, Stephen and Henry II, although assured to accept this charter, they did not keep up to their promise, but unfortunately, King John was also known as John, the tyrant, because of his hard temperament, signed this charter. This charter was also issued in 1216, 1217 and 1325 after being amended and modified. The expression fundamental rights of man was stated in the declaration. Thus, the term human rights came somewhat late in the vocabulary of mankind. Yes, this is the clear picture of that Magna Carta Charter. Then, after that Magna Carta, it is a 20th century name for what has been traditionally known as natural rights, or we can say rights of man. So it was first used by this Thomas Paine in the English translation of the French Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen. So the natural rights, or we can say rights of man, was first used by the French person, that is Thomas Paine. So in the English translation of the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and Citizen. The term natural law was subsequently replaced as it had become a matter of great controversy, and the phrase the rights of man was found unsuitable as it was not universally understood to include the rights of women. So this is a symbolic picture of rights of man, we the people. So after that, the idea that human rights could be protected by international law in addition to municipal law developed slowly, mainly because of the doctrine of absolute state sovereignty continued to prevail in the 19th and early 20th century, wherein human rights questions were regarded as a matters entirely within each state's own domestic jurisdiction and wholly inappropriate for regulation by international law. So international human rights laws were considered as an attack upon the concept of state sovereignty. No doubt there were exceptions to the above rule, which included the adoption of the Slavery Conventions of 1926 and the establishment in 1919 of the International Labour Organization and its subsequent activities. The Covenant of the League of Nations, adopted at the end of First World War, was silent on the issue of human rights. Then the turning point, after all these struggles, the turning point for the traditional approach in international law came in 1940s in midst of the extreme human rights abuses in war-torn Europe during the World War II. Shocking crimes were committed against the humanity, and there was a total suppression of fundamental human rights. Nazi leaders of Germany have established a regime of complete lawlessness and tyranny and had barbarously negated human values and dignity within the territory under their occupation. It was consequently realized that the restoration of the freedom to the common masses is one of the essential conditions for the establishment of international peace and security. Violation of human rights was considered as a source of international conflict, and protection of human rights was regarded as necessary for international peace. Finally, this convention was reflected in the proclamation issued by the President Franklin D. Roosevelt on January 16, 1941, which came to be known as four freedoms, that is freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom from war, and freedom from fear. In his message, he declared that President Roosevelt declared that the freedom means the supremacy of human rights everywhere. Our support goes to those who struggle to gain these rights or keep them. The same efforts for the creation of an international organization in order to establish peace were being made even when the World War II was in progress. A number of conferences and meetings were held on these human rights before the United Nations. An international organization was established in 1945. Many declarations was adopted in various conferences laid down the importance of human rights. He is one, the President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who declared as a freedom of speech for every individual human being. Finally, later at San Francisco conference, it was expressed by several delegates that the United Nations should establish an international Bill of Rights. Yes, so finally, the human rights was established in International Bill of Rights. So although that could not be done, it was realized by the members that it should be the obligation of the international community to cooperate in eradicating the scourge of war, and that way therefore determined that the promotion and respect for human rights, which at present constitute so important and so conspicuous, to be an integrated part of the United Nations Charter. The result was that the Charter contains provisions for the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms in its preamble. After the United Nations Charter came into force, the most important task before the United Nations was the implementation of the principles of the respect for human rights and freedom for all without distinction as to race, sex, language or religion as laid down under Article 55 of the United Nations Charter. Now, it was therefore decided to prepare an International Bill of Rights to achieve the end. Finally, the UDHR came. The General Assembly on December 10, 1948, through a resolution adopted an International Bill of Human Rights known as Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The resolution was adopted without dissent by 40 votes, with 8 states abstaining. The declaration consisted of 30 articles besides a preamble. So this one is a pictorial representation of that Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Next, we will see some of the development stages in the among these human rights origin up to the starting from the origin to the UDHR. So the journey starts after the Magna Carta. The journey starts from the Magna Carta. Then later on, the Petition of Right was declared in 1628. So this is the pictorial representation of that Petition of Right in 1628. So in that petition, they were discussed the 4 points, that is no taxation without the consent of Parliament, no imprisonment without cause, no quartering of soldiers on subjects, no martial law in peacetime. And the next development among this human rights is nothing but the English Bill of Rights during the year 1689. The next source and avenue of the development of the philosophy of human rights is the English Bill of Rights, enacted on December 16, 1689 by the British Parliament. The British Parliament declared its supremacy over the Crown in clear terms. The English Bill of Rights declared that the King has no overriding authority. The Bill of Rights codified the customary laws and clarified the rights and liberties of the citizen. So, followed by English Bill of Rights, the United States Declaration of Independence is during 1776. So in that declaration, they have proclaimed the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So these three treaties were declared. So during the year, the Declaration of Independence in 1776, the Declaration of Independence 1776 by issuing the Declaration of Independence adopted by the Continental Congress on July 4th, 1776. The 13 American colonies severed their political connections to Great Britain. The declaration summarized the colonists' motivations for seeking independence. These rights, as spelled out in the Declaration of Independence, are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So these three rights are taken directly from a work of John Locke titled Two Treatises of Government. So this was the declaration at the time United States of America in 1776. Now the next comes the Constitution of the United States of America in 1789. Forming the fundamental law of the US federal system of government and defining the basic rights of citizens. So this picture shows the Constitution of the United States of America 1787. Next one is the Declaration of Rights of Man and of the Citizen in 1789. It was done by the French Revolution, that is in France. So this is the preamble they have written in this sculpture. So yes, this in France establishing that all citizens are equal in the eyes of law. The Declaration of the Rights of Men and of Citizen, that is in French, La Déclaration des Droits de l'Homme et du Citoyen, is one of the most important papers of the French Revolution. This paper explains a list of rights such as the right of religion, that is freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, and finally the separation of powers. The next one is nothing but the US Bill of Rights in 1791. So in this, the 10 amendments were declared, that is, the limiting the powers of the federal government and protecting the rights of all citizens, residents, and visitors on United States territory. Bill of Rights in the United States, the first 10 amendments to the US Constitution, which were adopted as a single unit on December 15, 1791. Constitute a collection of mutually reinforcing guarantees of individual rights and of limitations on federal and state governments. The next one is nothing but, we all know this, First Geneva Convention, that is on about 1864. Setting standards of international law. The main principle laid down in the convention and maintained by the later Geneva Conventions are relief to the wounded without any distinction as to nationality, neutrality, that is inviolability of medical personnel and medical establishment and units, the distinctive sign of the Red Cross on a white ground. Yeah. Finally, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was declared in the year 1948, 10th December 1948. The first charter proclaiming the 30 rights to which where human being is entitled. The atrocities perpetrated by fascist Germany against minorities and independent-minded individuals before and during World War II triggered shock and horror across the world. When the war ended, the victorious nations made to adopt measures intended to prevent a repetition of these murderous acts and to forward peace. The result was the founding of the United Nations in 1945. So in this video, we have crossed various origin and various development of this human rights. So thank you all for watching this video.